everyone. This is Dr. Atkins. I wanted to go over the week 4 assignment because it's pretty extensive. So I'm going to go back to the week 4 assignment instructions. So one of the important things as any educator, with whether you're in the K through 12 teaching profession or you're teaching in the military or human resources, you will need to know how to collect data so that you know that your students are learning, or and if you can kind of pinpoint those that might be struggling, so you can provide more specific interventions perhaps. But for this assignment, it's called Data Everywhere. And you're going to read chapters 6 and 9, and those two chapters have some great information, especially chapter 9 about statistics. You're going to have to find one scholarly source, and then make sure you download this template, which I'm going to walk through. And then you need to also access the week 4 data chart and bar graphs, because you're going to use that to write about your paper. And then here are 3 different additional resources that will support you as you think about how you might differentiate your instruction. So what you're going to do, I'm going to go and use this template. So the very first thing is you're just going to write an introduction, and then you're going to find the mean, median, and mode. And to find the results of that information, or the data, again, it's from that week 4 data chart. So I'm going to go ahead and download it. And this is what you're going to be using. So here are the results from a summative assessment. Let's just assume it's the summative assessment that you developed for your students. And the learner, there's 15 learners or students in the session that you're teaching. So this shows scores that they got, and then it's just this is just this information translated into a bar graph. So it's just you can more readily see what students were struggling and who are doing well. So let's go back here. So here is where you're going to find the mean, median, and mode. And if you don't remember how to find that, you can easily Google it. It also shares that information in the course text. So all you need to do is list mean, median, and mode and tell me what those are. Then the educational assessment. So you're going to examine the bar graphs and explain what the data tells you about how learners performed on the summative assessment. Refer to the bar graph and the incorrect answer choices in your explanation, and also make reference to the course text. So when you go back to that, that chart, kind of look at this and examine, how do you think overall students did? You can point out specific learners. And then here you can, this is another graph that's broken up the 10 questions that you developed. And again, this is all hypothetical, and it shows the number of incorrect answers. So if we look at this, test question number 2 received a high number of incorrect answers. So as a teacher, you would want to go back to your assessment, see what that question was, what was the learning objective, what were you asking them, and kind of determine what perhaps the students are still misunderstanding, or perhaps your test question just wasn't written clearly enough. So that's something that you can do in terms of your analysis here. Then applying the data. So then you're going to explain how you might use this data to inform your instruction. So analyze the incorrect data choices, the incorrect answer choices data, and then link it to your summative assessment. So again, that's where you're going to look at this and look at your test that you created and kind of determine, okay, what students, what topics they were doing, they fully understood, what they were still struggling with, and how you might, let me pull this, how you might use that information for your instruction. So you might discuss how you might reteach the concepts for the questions that the students got wrong, how you might differentiate. So you might see, if I go back to the chart and I go back up here, I see that learner number 2 and learner number 12 seem to struggle a bit. So you might differentiate by pulling them out one-on-one or in a small group. So that's where that flexible grouping comes into play. Let's see. So that is what you're going to do under this section in terms of applying the data. Then you're going to interpret the mean, median, and mode. Explain how the mean, median, and mode of these results are different and how they are similar. Again, use chapter 9 of your text to help support you. And then describe different situations in which each of the mean, the mode, or median would be most appropriate measure of central tendency and relate it to your test data. So basically, which one would be these different measures of central tendency, how would each one be used in different situations? And then explain how you might use the data when sharing results with the learners or parents of the learners. So in the K through 12, if you're having a parent conference, how might you share these results with those parents? And then you'll have a conclusion, and then of course your reference page. But this is pretty much the assignment. I hope it makes sense. Again, refer back to, let's go here, to chapter 9, the statistics for educational assessments, and then of course chapter 6. And then again, these 3 links will provide you with different ways that you can support student learning based on differentiating your instruction. So just let me know if you have any further questions, I hope this provides you with greater clarity on the assignment. Hope you have a good one. Thanks.